Oh, wait. Hello, everybody, and welcome to a bonus stream of Chaos Under Heaven. I'm your host, Fellow Traveler, and today I'm joined with Comrade Net. We are both reflecting on a debate that B-level Star Wars had with A Vaushite, and we were going to talk about some of the stuff he said. We were going to talk about a few of the misconceptions and really just review the debate because, honestly, I think this was very frustrating for everybody involved, and I think it's time to tear this shit up. So I just got back from my girlfriend's place. I had to put away my ferrets before this stream because I let them out before I came over here. And those ferrets, man, they're mischievous. So there's this sliding door closet at my girlfriend's place. It's a sliding door. And when I let the ferrets out, I'm like, where the fuck they go? And I look around the apartment for like 15 minutes for these ferrets. And it turns out they were both sleeping in that closet. And not just in the closet, they were in the guitar. We have a guitar in the closet. They burrowed inside the guitar. So then I pulled both the ferrets out and I put them away. And lo and behold, there's ferret shit on the strings. And
oh no!
Yeah, so I had to clean the guitar, wash my hands, put the ferrets away, and then on the way back there was some really bad traffic, and man, it was some bullshit. Like, well, anyways, I'm here. Sorry for the holdup. What's up? How you doing, Net?
T-Box just said something to us.
All right, so actually, I don't know how the last 20 minutes of that debate went, so why don't you summarize for me what I missed?
I actually stepped out of the last because I needed to smoke pot and tobacco at the same time just to calm down, because that's my herbalist way. I'll smoke marijuana and tobacco, and I'm a little calm. Not to mention, because the last time I was on your stream, I did the best I could to stay focused, but as I had said, I was in a bad day, so I went so off the hinges there that I'm trying to not do that this time. But from what I saw, because I did see more than you did, I saw basically it become a dead-end conversation, and then I left and I said, okay, I'm going to come right back. As I came right back, the stream was over.
All right, so before I criticize this, what's his name, Cringe Lord, Quirky Cringe?
I know what he's called, because
whatever
Quick Quartz. He was called Quick Quartz, and he was absolutely incorrect about literally everything.
Cringe Quartz. No. So as I listen to this debate, I can tell you right now, from his comments on Cuba to his comments on Caleb Maupin to what he said, like his little question, his little rhetorical question about, do you think a system that needs to repress its citizenry is a sustainable system? Literally all of that straight from Vaush, not an original thought in this kid's head. I know this because I've listened to all these streams by Vaush, and Vaush has said literally all the exact same shit. This dude has never had an original thought in his life. He's some alt-right YouTube skeptic to breadtube pipeline, and he's just an example of how Vaush is poisoning the discourse because this kid doesn't know what the fuck he is talking about.
Yeah. I got a lot of things on my mind about this. There's so much I want to say about this because there's so much that I find actually kind of scary about this. And I've never said this to B-Level or anybody in Ewoks Unhinged before. I mean, I've streamed a little, I've like messaged before, but like I was like literally begging to be put on because he was talking shit that's not true about regions of the world that I'm actually still connected to technically through cultural and ethnic backgrounds. Like I wasn't from Russia, but my family was running in the Ukraine, and under the personal orders of Stalin, the Red Army came and rescued my family. Another thing is, I actually do oppose Baathism, but I give critical support to Assad because I know what Rojava is doing. They are aiding imperialism. And although, like, I think it's okay to sympathize with Kurds and be for their independence, because I am, but not at the expense of the Syrians. And I think that what a lot of people don't know about me is I know quite a bit about the Syrian Kurdish conflict, and I can tell you that a lot of it comes back to a hatred between the two of them. But one of the things that you have to understand, as bad as Baathism is, what Rojava is doing is actually helping destabilize the entire fucking region. They're being used. Because of their desperateness for their own independence is being used by the CIA. And by the way, that's what the CIA does. It will reach people that are desperate. Like, you know what I mean when I say marginalized among marginalized?
Uh-huh.
They'll do that shit. They will look for any flaws in the system And I mean, I will also say the Kurds give as good as they get and always have when it came to this. It's Syria versus the Kurdish Syrian, the Syrians general and the Kurdish Syrians. There's always been conflict there. And,
I wanted to attest to something in terms of my experience. So I actually wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the Soviets, because my grandfather was fought on behalf of the Italian fascists in World War II. And my grandfather was stationed out in a bunker in Russia during the blizzard. And, you know, the months that he was stationed out there, he didn't see combat. But what happened was basically they stopped, as you know, they stopped sending like food and aid and resources out to the bunker where his platoon was stationed. So they had to fend for themselves out in the cold tundra that is Russia. Well, the Russians did come, the Soviets did come. And by the time they found him, half his platoon was dead, either starved, frozen, or sick. And when they found him, they took him into custody and they imprisoned him. But while he was in prison, they put him in a hospital and they feed him and they nursed him back to health and they saved his life. And then he would return home a communist, basically, and he was an active member of the Communist Party of Italy for the following four and a half decades, all the way up until 1994, when he died the same year I was born.
That's incredible, dude. You know that my mother was born in 44. She was 40 when I was born. I don't want to get into all that because that's a crazy story. But my mother was born in 44, and she had my uncle had to hold her and make sure she didn't suffocate in the hidden blanket up in the trees when the Nazis rushed in and started burning down houses because they knew there were people in there. And my grandmother burnt alive, and my I don't think people who haven't experienced these. Here's the thing. I have serious, harsh criticisms of Lenin, Stalin, and the Soviet Union. So believe me when I say that this kid didn't know what the fuck he was talking about.
Yeah.
Every criticism he gave was bullshit.
No, it was like all the standard liberal talking points that I guarantee you he learned from Vosh. Like, I really can't stand this whole libertarian, authoritarian, false dichotomy. I would like to review a couple segments of the debate, but like...
Hey, before we start, can I address something in chat? Because this has been going on forever and it's ridiculous, this thing. I would like to let everybody know, I don't understand the Glasnow gain. I just know Pock Earl had an issue with it. And yes, I know for a fact Jason doesn't like the Glasnow gang. I will make an apology publicly to the Glasnow gang for that whole ordeal, but I will let you know I had nothing to do with that. And Jason didn't get anybody banned, okay? Glasnow used to say a lot of stuff that I didn't understand, and I think he just offended people. I knew people that he offended, but I never had anything to do with that, and neither did Jason. That's all paranoia. You guys got to stop that.
Oh, okay. So he's one of these fucking avatar kitties. I gotcha. Now, there's something to say when you've got like I don't want to talk shit about people who have like an anime for an avatar, but I mean, there's kind of a stereotype that comes with it. I don't know.
Well, Glasnow's a Pol Pot reference, and I don't even know anything about Pol Pot, to be honest, so I just don't get into that conversation.
Authoritarianism, socialist fails to argue. I'm an author. Oh, okay, so he's like an upcoming debate bro. I'm looking at his channel now. But yeah, no, I see like he's got like the gray and the white hair. It looks like this guy's a debate bro, or at least like he does stream.
We're talking about Quick Quartz, not the recent reference I just made, right? Like
yeah, correct.
The man of the hour that we are going to tear apart. What does his channel look like? Can you share it on stream that we can see it?
Yes, I can. In fact, I can.
Excellent.
Do this. So yeah, this is this little. I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna. I can't really take seriously the kind of person that apparently has like 16-year-old fucking anime cartoons as their avatar. I'm not gonna lie. And when he started doing the horseshoe theory bullshit, I mean, or when he just said it was just a dictatorship. I mean, well, and he's like, oh. Like, I hate this liberal notion that dictatorship and democracy are two separate things. Like, or the dumbass comment he made where he's like, do you think a system can sustain itself without repressing its people? Is that really a system worth upholding? And I'm like, motherfucker.
I have something to say about that, actually. Can I?
Yeah, I do too. Real quick,
well,
motherfucker.
I don't want to interrupt you, and I'm trying to let you lead the conversation because it's your channel, and like I like being on your stream.
let me just finish by saying this.
Yeah.
He said he took this exactly from Vaush, all right, with his debate with Default, all right. And what I have to say to that is, motherfucker, money, markets, and debt and private property are enforced at the barrel of a gun. So that's like me asking, do you really think a system's sustainable? Do you really think capitalism's sustainable when you need to enforce property rights at the barrel of a gun? Yes. Because that's what the point of the state is. Like, this kid has no fucking dialectical conception of what the state is whatsoever.
Bro, he doesn't even. I want to.
Yeah, go ahead.
Are you sure? Okay, bro, this kid is not even good enough for anarchism. Let me tell you something. And I do want to let everybody know that just because people keep mistaking me for an anarchist, I'm actually not an anarchist. I'm very pro anarchist ideas on a lot of levels. I will defend parts of their theory, but I don't ultimately agree with the finality of what they espouse, if that makes sense. But I'll say this: what I can't stand about BreadTube is they're pissing off the actual anarchists out here, and I'm talking about street fighting anarchist squatters. Like, they'll beat you up. They're serious. And you talk all that, they're good. They would call this kid a poser. They would call, that's the first thing that they would call a kid like this. And they would say he's a little white boy. Because most of the anarchists I'm out here, I'll be serious, man, are Chicanos.
No, yeah. I have not been in contact with the anarchists in your part of the world, but they sound very based.
They are, man. They love working particularly with the Maoists, because there's a history between Maoism and anarchism a lot of people don't understand. Mao, in fact, before he became a Marxist-Leninist, a lot of people don't know this, before he was a Marxist-Leninist, he was an anarchist. And during the Revolutionary Internationalist movement, which is where MLM was declared, at that time, and a lot of people say it was declared in 1993, that is a misnomer. Actually, Marxism, Leninism, Maoism was declared several times in the 1980s by RIM, but it was unanimously declared in 1993. And Marxism, Leninism, Maoism, that term is first formed by Abbe Mel Guzman, because he came up with Marxism, Leninism, Maoism, Abbe Mel Guzman thought, or whatever, which, ironically, in my opinion, is currently the weakest strand of MLM, because Guzman was a dogmatist, to be honest. And he overlooked real mistakes that Mao made that the rest of RIM acknowledged. For instance, how Mao failed at the end, like he became the opposite of himself quite literally at the end. And most of RIM acknowledged that, actually, and a lot of people don't know that. It was just the Shining Path that didn't at the time. And then Abbe Mel Guzman fucked up his own shit, killed off indigenous people, and I don't know, he was.
Oh yeah, no, that's where I draw the line with Gonzaloites. But hey,
but most Maoists acknowledge that. Even Black Red Guard acknowledges that. I mean,
well, hold up. I think Otto Boll wants in. If he wants in, he can come in. But anyways, I want to get back to this and review this.
Yeah, this was terrible. Sorry if I went off track. I do that sometimes. I'm sorry.
Anyways,
government, like Soviet government, which was totalitarian.
Okay. Can you guys hear this? Just curious. Is it too loud? People are complaining about my intro music, so I'm just a little insecure.
I like your intro music. Why would you get rid of the intro music?
I didn't get rid of it. People are just saying it's ear piercing. But anyways,
it's your show, man. Come on.
Why could they allow women to be engineers, like in the Western world? Women
can you hear? But
yeah, I can hear it.
Okay, then I'm assuming everyone else can.
Didn't do that, right? They gave literacy rates. Illiteracy was basically wiped out in all these villages. They brought electricity.
Okay, so I think B-level shortcoming, and this is like a hiccup for a lot of these libertarian socialist trademark types, that I don't think that what they ought to do is explain how the Soviet model of political economy was a necessary evil in order to secure the stability of the regime. None of this shit happened on accident or because of ideas, but because of material conditions. That, and even though it was a fairly autocratic model, so to speak, as in there wasn't enough direct democracy, it was still more democratic than the United States, because at least the people governing over you come from your class background. At least you have equal economic rights with your neighbors, and at least like the 5-year plans is that as they are drafted, like those 5-year plans are drafted based on like information.
Bro, do you know how successful the first 5-year plan was at the end of it all, as it all came out?
I heard the second 5-year plan, from what I understand, was a lot better. The first one was like kind of fucked up. Like
no. Well, that's the thing. They made there was a lot that fucked up the first 5-year plan. But did you know that it wasn't a complete failure? I mean, it had problems, but it wasn't that bad actually. It was.
I mean, they established socialism during the first 5 years.
They learned so much from the mistakes of the first 5-year plan. Did you know that? That this is a thing that's supposed to be in the dialectic, is that you learn from the mistakes. And this is one of the things that confuses me about. I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but this is just a little stupid white kid. I mean, he's well-meaning, but I don't know if he's well-meaning. He's a bit.
No, he's trying. I think he's just trying to cash in on those Vaush bucks because he's mimicking the debate patterns, mannerisms.
That doesn't
like winking into the screen.
The truth is, I don't know if you've noticed this, but leftism, there's a market for leftism right now.
Yeah, there is, and like I think this kid's either trying to cash in or he's just confused. We'll see as time goes on. I would love to debate this kid. Like I would love to lay the smack.
I would have been mean to him. I'll be honest. I would have made this kid feel like nothing.
No,
I would have started sounding like a fucked up SJW, calling him all kinds of things that I actually do think that he is.
All right.
Partially guilty of.
Stopped going, and the Conservatives got concerned that the family values were being removed. Stalin backed off on that.
Okay, so there are reasonable things you can criticize Stalin for. Like he did, like effectively bring back the. He effectively did bring back like some of the socially conservative roles. Wait, I thought Stalin was a totalitarian dictator.
I actually like the fact that he brought back.
No.
Like a lot of people don't know, the USSR had a lot of. Like they did have repressions against religion. People don't know this, but they also would lax them up because they weren't trying to outlaw religion. They were trying to get rid of autocratic rulership.
Let me make a point. So Stalin is simultaneously an autocratic dictator that can get whatever he wants, while at the same time listening to the whims of his constituents and bringing back socially conservative political policy and social
like
policy.
The church.
Wait, hold on. I thought he was totalitarian and that he could get whatever he wants and he doesn't have to listen to people that aren't in line with his alignments.
Yeah, it's full of contradictions.
Here, let me slow this down. I can't even understand. These takes are too big for my brain. Tingus, are you there? No.
There were some areas in which Russian women were more liberated than Western women.
Some areas they were given the right to vote before like literally everybody else.
In fact, actually, one of the reasons why the Bolsheviks were so successful is that they created a program where the average people could directly talk to their constituents.
No, like there was actually like a bureau or a sect of the government that was committed to women's issues. And one of the reasons why like the abortion was repealed or the right to abortion was repealed was because it came from some of the socially conservative policies out of like that sector.
Yeah, but they just blame Stalin, but that's not Stalin.
Yeah, mustache man bad. Mustache man ate all the grain.
Even though actually Stalin's super best communist leader in the world, one of my top heroes, he actually did save people like. Anyway, let's keep going. I'm slightly high and I can't.
A while, and then they were those rights were also completely crushed, and they were only liberated again briefly, so that the Soviet war machine would be able to continue, which fine. And
they were liberated briefly until the Soviets went on to completely annihilate the gender pay gap. I mean, I know there was still like pay inequality in the USSR.
It was the first country to have actual women enrolled in the super workforce, like an actual workforce.
Yeah, like engineers, like instead of having their like I want to get to the points where he straight up starts defending liberal democracy. So let me skip around.
To not do that again. But also let's look at what they did right and build off of that. And that's kind of where like back then, warm back up to socialism.
Hold on.
As it kind of gave up the push towards communism, things got quite stale. They became more, a bit more open to the United States, and gradually, as we got to Gorbachev, became very open to the United States. I actually think the biggest tragedy of the Cold War is the Sino-Soviets. between China and the USSR.
Oh yeah,
And
the
obviously they-
Sino-Soviet split did a lot of damage.
Maybe, but I'm willing to defend that.
Really
I have my leanings are more M11.
world, such as Africa, for example, right? Because you have Soviets backing revolutionaries in Africa, and China, along with U.S. plans, because they view the Soviet Union unfortunately as the biggest threat. And unfortunately, between USSR and China, kind of became things like, who's more revolutionary? And I think they'd stay together in the East Bloc. But then I don't think they would have fallen. And of course, then you see like now
that's possible, but then I would argue that we wouldn't be seeing a world right now. We're just very slowly starting to warm back up to socialism.
Okay, so one of the points he was making was about how like the history of actually existing socialism was damaged like our legacy or our reputation.
Can I say something about that? Actually, can I?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
This is such fucking bullshit. Okay, so I think all the comrades know I'm not a communist. I am a socialist, but I'm not a communist. So you know that I have slightly different views. But one of the things that's funny about that is that I've had so many wonderful conversations with people that came from the USSR. They were older, and I never thought, okay, this is not a good socialist because he's a communist. Because one thing that I've always credited Marxism-Leninism for, and I give this to Marxist-Leninists, and this is probably like one of the reasons why Bundists and Marxist-Leninists work together now, because that was not a thing before. Because Bolshevik Bund didn't like each other. But so what's changed? I think one of the things is we share a common legacy about knowing what was going on in those regions at that time. This kid, I guarantee you, doesn't know a damn thing about Eastern Europe or the Middle East or what the Tsar was like or how the people had to have father figures. So like, you want to know the whole cult of personality thing? The people needed strength.
Yeah,
they were raised culturally to believe in that.
Well,
Stalin hated that shit, actually, if you know anything about it. He hated the name and stuff.
He disavowed the cult, but the point I was going to make was that I'm sorry about that. The point that I was trying to make was that fuck, now I forgot it. Oh yeah, I mean, he's universally beloved as a figure in Eastern Europe. But the other thing that I was going to say is even if like the socialist experiments turned out perfect, you know, the West would still talk shit about them and make things up about them, right?
That's
like they would still, they would still bastardize the
experiment like that of its kind, and it didn't actually fail.
No, it didn't actually fail, and they would still make a bunch of shit up about it because it's in their interest to lie. Like that's something.
Even Trotsky acknowledged that it didn't fail, and he was extremely anti-Stalin. Shit.
Yeah. Like the thing is, that's what these people don't understand. There is a reason to lie about this stuff. There's a reason, and you know, and these lies have afflicted and done damage to this day because now this kid believes in some silly bullshit like. What, bourgeois society with co-ops? Is that what he wants?
You know why they have to, and I'm being serious, and a lot of people don't like this, but I mean, if you want to know one of the big reasons why I vibe so well with Jason and I both seem to very much believe in pantherism. Because like in the first world, resistance will only be led by revolutionaries, not by first worldists. It will be from the downtrodden, from the serious dialectical masses, right? Well, this kid is an egotist, in my opinion.
All right.
He's like not thinking about who. I don't think he understands that almost everybody of color in the 60s and 70s that was truly hard left was a Marxist-Leninist.
Without a little bit more to make sure that 3 million people didn't starve to death.
Oh, right. So we've gotten to the Holodomor. Let's go back.
About this, but the recurring famines in the
Okay, so B-Level's making the point, and I would have made a different point, but let's see what queer.
I think B-Level actually was in such good faith he didn't expect it to go.
I think B-Level could have been more aggressive. Like some of the things that this kid said would have taken some serious pause with me, and like if you guys rewatch this debate, you will find actually that. I am constantly addressing shit that this kid.
Me too. They should have followed. That's what one of the people in our chat here says is that they should have B-Level should have followed you and my comments. We were trying to help B-Level.
Yeah, well, hold on.
We wanted on. Like guys. Me and Traveler, we wanted him to put us on.
Auto Bowl, you're in.
Hey, what's good, y'all?
Hey, what's up, Auto?
What's good, Net? I know y'all were like pissed as fuck at this shit.
Yeah,
Like I was pleading with y'all, like let me on, let Net on, well I don't know if I mentioned you Net, but like you should have been on. I was just like, bro, Traveler, get on. I was just yelling in the chat like, please breathe,
I'm sorry,
Soviet
this kid
democracy
is
should
not a
exist.
real anarchist. Anarchists, like, yes, by definition, they're libertarian socialists, but actually, anarchists typically don't like that term because they feel like shit like BreadTube has fucked that up for them.
Libertarian socialism is synonymous for you're in favor of the revolution, except for the ones that actually succeed. Like you want change, but you're too afraid, too pussy to stick up for your legacy. So you're just gonna shit on actually existing socialism and distance yourself because you're afraid of the optics of what people will think, rather than taking a principled stance on an issue, even though it's a more difficult stance to defend.
The thing I was getting pissed at is like when this kid was like, oh, well, we're not doing a good job by apologizing for Stalin or whatever. And the thing is, like, B Level was saying, he was like, oh, well, it's not apologizing more. Like, what would you rather do? Like, say that socialism has worked, or say like, oh, we know how to do socialism. Like the other guys who tried it just completely failed miserably. And then what? You, like some middle class, like UK gamer kid, like can like liberate the masses. Like, I mean, you guys know this better than I ever will, but like, communism, just socialism in general isn't going to be like, this, like a lot of people wear it as like a trend and whatnot.
Can I tell you a suspicion I have when this started?
What?
All right, I could have sworn he was referred to as British, and that was a red flag to me. It's like, why isn't he English? Because this is one thing that, like a lot of people, it goes over their head. But like when you hear myself, Jason Unruh, or perhaps the Black Internationalist, or anybody who's gotten into the Maoist concepts at least, that will point out that there is a certain colonizer mentality, a way to separate Europeanness from whiteness. Well, this kid being called British, why isn't he English? And I was like a little concerned by that. And the first thing I did, and I don't know why, I felt like I was out of line, but I was like, no, I'm entitled to. I wrote, long live the IRA. No response and everything like that. And I noticed that, I felt like, okay, I know where this is going to go from here.
He was talking about Scottish self-determination, but he was talking about like he was like, oh, like when he came to like black self-determination, it was like, oh, why would we let them have ethno states?
We do need black self-determination. I was talking to this about with Chad Antifa here, fellow traveler.
Yeah,
but how?
I do want to grant like a little bit of credence to him though, because he was trying to say that Vaush did clarify his position because he didn't understand like what black nationalism.
Vaush weaseled his way out, man.
I mean, I know Vaush has a habit of like doubling down and then quietly like brushing it under the rug.
Dude, Vaush is an actual settler. He's an actual settler.
He's a bourgeois socialist, but I promised I wouldn't make a stream about Vaush again for a while. So let's hear what he has to say about the holodeck fraud.
I think fraud on the more sounds better.
Yeah, it's not exactly the most comfortable realization, is it?
What's that?
Yeah, Holodomor happened. It's like for all.
Oh my god, this pisses me off. This is great.
That was just like one
not quite really.
It's like, no, this is the thing. People always bring up the famines under socialism as a point of their failure, but like you have centuries of famines that happen on the Tsar's watch, and nobody says shit. But then, like, a famine happens in a country that's vulnerable to famines because of the geographical region, and then they never have another famine again, and then people just rail at the failures at the beginning. This is like making fun of, like, a fat guy on the treadmill who's trying to lose weight, and he's lost a shit ton of weight. But
you know what? I therefore declare, if you can have that logic, I believe that the United States of America created COVID.
Or the United States created the Dust Bowl.
Yeah, no. I think the main argument he goes with is basically that it was Soviet policy that made it worse. I mean, in some regards, they made mistakes, but it wasn't like a convenient famine so they could crush Ukrainian nationalism. Like, that's a point that he was trying to make, which is straight up like fascist propaganda.
I know. In fact, that's one of the things I've been trying to get people to understand. There is a fifth column in this country, man. People don't get it. Operation Paperclip, and we're seeing it all happen. Like, our understanding of the Soviet Union, by ours, I don't mean mine. Screw that. I'm a Jewish Bundist. I mean, I'm talking about like the United States. The United States culturally, like the people, the Americans have been taught actual Nazi propaganda. Like, a lot of people don't understand that. They're not facts that are being told when you hear about Stalin and the purge and the purges and what the purges really, as opposed to what the purges actually were. And you know, they have this exaggerated point of view, which I find scary, actually.
You alive? Oh, thank God! For a second, I thought I dropped. Hold on. I'm going to shout out my Patreon real quick because I do have a Patreon now.
Will we go back? Will we go back to the thing though?
We will 1 second because this is like one of the things that I promised I would do, but I'm going to shout out my one Patreon as soon as I find him.
Right on.
Hold on. You know what? Let's see. Yeah, here we go. Well, I have one Patreon. I'll shout him out later. Let's go ahead and... but I do have a Patreon. I apologize. I will shout you out on my stream with Unruh coming Saturday. But anyways. Sorry, guys.
Oh, that's cool.
Not quite to the extent of the whole...
Hold them more. Hold the door. Hold the floor.
That's the USSR.
Hold the Lord.
Actually, they did their best to assist, but the thing was, with the limited food available, they need to feed the cities too, the industrial workers. So they had to.
One of the points I would have brought up is they actually imported food from Mongolia. Like, they imported rice from Mongolia and I believe from India. To the afflicted regions. I know the aid was insufficient to really alleviate it, but one thing people rule out is, like, they had to industrialize, and they had some deals going on to buy factory equipment, and if they just halted exports completely and turned around and started feeding their people, yeah, they'll save lives, but they would have voided a lot of those contracts and deals that they had with, like, Western firms. And
there were several actual attempts to alleviate the starving masses when the heat wave came, by the way. And by the way, it was not completely unsuccessful there either. They did manage to alleviate as much as they could.
Stability of the regime.
But it's a big fucking heat wave. I mean... Why is Stalin and let's be honest, this is about bashing Stalin, a lot of it. Why is Stalin responsible for a heat wave? I guess he has godlike powers, dude. Long live Comrade Stalin.
Well, yeah, no, it's just kind of annoying because it's I will say this, Stalin and his government definitely fucked up in some regards. But the fuck up is inevitable because this is like the first time. Yeah,
yes, I try to say that too. It was the first social experiment, and it did not exactly fail. In fact, in a lot of ways, it succeeded.
Yeah, I know. This is like, imagine if, like, 50 years from now, America collapses, and then it's said that America was a failure because in the beginning, the founding fathers killed 20 million slaves and Native Americans, and they did all this horrible fucked up shit, and then give blacks or women's the right to vote until, like, centuries later. Like the only reason people bring up death tolls and the bullshit that they do is because they've either been propagandized or they're trying to propagandize against a progressive force.
Like, I mean, I would say a big testament to, Soviet success. I mean, who built the railways? Who built the metros? Why do the Russian workers to this day still have the very little, like, workers' rights that they have to this day?
You guys there?
I heard. Yeah, you cut out. Can you hear me?
To eat an education and to not have your surplus value ripped off is not totalitarianism. It is a matter of human rights.
Yeah, or the notion that, like, they weren't ever really socialist. I don't know. I'll find the clip, but he talks about it near the end. But no, here I don't really feel like talking about the Lola that much because he just parrots a bunch of liberal propaganda.
I mean,
One thing I don't.
they did
I'm listening.
most of the.
Yeah, I was just gonna say like one thing that I had a gripe with. I don't know if you guys mentioned it or not, but like the way he would always. This is a thing. Like okay, Bosch, we already know this, but like he has such a cult of personality that anyone who watches him, they want to act like him, they want to be like him, they want to be all smug and sound all smart and shit. So they'll look up like a Google or Wikipedia article and then look at a definition that was probably written by someone who works at U.S. Borders Customs, definitely isn't biased. And then they'll give that definition and then be like, oh, boom, you got wrecked. Like this kid clearly wanted to turn this into like a Bosch style debate just so we could have like his little like gotcha moment.
Yeah, no.
What's clear is he didn't even know that B Level was coming to him as an olive branch, as a friend.
Yeah. No, B Level was extending his hand in good faith to have a good faith discussion. And this kid just wanted to parrot a bunch of liberal propaganda because he's trying to fucking make YouTube grift bucks.
B Level needs to talk to me more. I think B Level would get a lot
no,
like moving if he talked to me.
We should still debate people like this because it's important. Like you can guarantee you that there's like thousands of people out there just like this kid that get all of their opinions from the likes of Vaush. Because I said earlier, he is
I said, dude, he's British, he's privileged, he's a very colonized mentality.
Yeah, but no, there are people that are going to hear this guy and they're going to hear people like Vaush and they just poison the discourse, which is why it's important that we dunk on these motherfuckers.
I also wanted to say his look on Black liberation and Black separatism were so mired in like colonialist thought, because it's like, oh, he was like, oh well, I don't think Blacks should say like whiteys get out. And like first off, if you think that's what like Black liberation is, or Black separatism, etc. If you think that's what it is, that's racist as fuck.
I'll be clear. I'm not a big fan of Black separatism, but I can't condemn it because it is the right of Black people, if they feel that is what makes them secure, to segregate away from white people. That is a right, because we're talking about an entire group of fucking stolen people. No one has the right to tell a group like that they have to, do it like either through integration or segregation. And those are two things actually you can't force, is integration or segregation. But if you want to end separatism and things like nationalism, you do need to have a unified economy. And that's the thing, is though that takes planning and all kinds of shit. This kid is very, very white. And I'm not attacking Europeans. I'm saying he's actually white. He's British. You know what I mean? He's very disconnect. And I bet he has money already. I bet his mother probably has like lots of cars and shit or whatever.
Yeah, no, his petite bourgeois mindset is showing throughout this stream. Marx and Engels outlined and discussed greatly about the bourgeois socialist, someone who says they want workers' control, they say they want revolution, but then like they don't actually believe in like the steps or what you need to do, like the things necessary in order to make that happen, or realize that, because they just have like this dude, which is against the USSR and talking about, oh, we need to uphold the freedom of the individual. And I always think, what freedom? The freedom of the fucking kulaks to hoard grain during a famine? The freedom of like the czars to maintain their unjust rule? What freedom are we talking about here, and for who? What does freedom mean?
There was this one really good like quote that I won't forget. Well, shit, I kind of forgot the name of the guy who said it, but it was like a GDR defense minister. It was in Black Shirts and Reds. He was like, like now that we have the quote unquote freedom of the West, like what freedom do we have? Like the freedom from job security, the freedom of, like dying out on the streets and shit. Like you could tell this guy was like super like, Eurocentric and Western chauvinist. So he wasn't like afraid to hide it at all. And like that's something that really like needs to change. Like
yeah. or his thing on imperialism, like how he seemingly almost supports regime change in places like Syria and the DPRK. Oh wait, no,
that really, he got that so fucking wrong, man. I was so pissed.
that aggravated the fuck out of me, because like, okay, so let me get this straight. So the Western colonizers were wrong for the last 150, 200 years to do what they did, but they're still doing it now. But they're right to do it now. They're correct now, but they've been wrong and they've been lying for the last 200 years. And it was horrible then, but it's okay to do it now because gay people can't be open about it in Syria or something. Like, what the fuck is that shit, dude?
You know, no. This kid literally doesn't understand Syria or the Kurdish plight, or how the Kurdish plight is being used. You know, that's how the CIA is doing it. That's the actual tactic, by the way. And this is something that we're, as a Bundist, we're really good at understanding. The way that they're getting to the Kurdish people is preying on their own concerns and everything. That can be used to aid imperialism. The disunity in the Arab world, by the way, has been going on for a long time. If you were to push it out, you'd be pushing out European domination, which I would say still controls the Arab world through the Arab versions of Arab nationalism. So all these divisions and everything like that, they're good game for imperialism. Like he says, he mentioned ISIS. He kept saying ISIS, and all I could think about this is, you don't mean ISIS. You mean Muslim. You mean things that you consider theocratic. Because then he would have probably gone on with Iran as well. As like, no, because like, and once people attack Iran, I actually start getting scared, because like culturally, I don't think people understand that Iran is kind of like, I don't know. It's like liberty to a lot of people in the Middle East. I mean, not exactly, but like they're losing their security, and Iran is considered a hero to other countries because their own states are selling out all the time.
Yeah. So I don't want to touch on Iran. I want to stay on this.
What's actually in support of?
Yeah, that's another thing. The vast majority of peasants were in support of collectivization, and someone notified me on my Voss stream that the farmland.
Now is not a good time to drop. I want to hear this.
Same.
6 that allowed the breakup
Can you repeat all that, 'cause you dropped, bro?
private ownership.
Yeah.
Oh, I did? Shit. All right. So what I said was, apparently the farmland was already collectivized under the czars to some extent, but all that land was broken up in a reform in 05, 06, like 1905, and all like Stalin's government did was seek to bring that back, like collective farming. It was all voluntary. 90% of it was voluntary. It was only a minority of wealthy.
Oh yeah. Actually,
peasants.
you could say that the peasants benefited the most from the Soviet Union. To be straight up honest, like you could, like everybody was signing up to that.
Yeah, dude. And the whole thing. Let's see what else he has to say.
Collectivization efforts. It was only like a minority that were against it.
When you say farmers, like what about the general Ukrainian population?
Well, I think most of it was agrarian.
Yes, many of them were agrarian. Many of them were peasants. The Ukrainians were largely peasants. The people that opposed fucking collectivization were the fucking kulaks. Were just straight up a class.
And even then, the kulaks were still allowed to
but
gain
you know what
capital.
really sucks about this so-called anarchist? The kulaks were hated by the anarchists of the time too. The anarchists used to write songs about fucking killing kulaks. That's a fact.
Also, what was I gonna say? Like, shit. Like, oh fuck, I'm sorry. You know, I think someone already made the point that, you know, the collectives were voluntary. Like, it's not like people were forced into, well, like at first they were voluntary, and then like people, you know, started to be like forced into
compulsory inscription though. Like people don't know that either, that the compulsory conscription was voted in by the majority. So like any way you turn it, you can't actually say that the Soviet Union was an autocratic or tyrannical regime or anything like that. It did have a certain coldness, I guess you could say, to it, but that depends on how you look at it, because I think, the idea of everybody having education for the first time and warm bread, I don't think people were upset with that, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, then people make the argument that, well, capitalism does this all too. But the Soviets achieved overnight what it took capitalism months to achieve by scale. And even then, large swaths of the world still hasn't done it.
Culturally, the Russians still have that mentality that there isn't that it, that's why they want the Soviet Union back, by the way. Like, I don't even think doesn't he know that most Russians want the Soviet Union back? I know this for a fact. I talk to Russians. I'm fuck, man.
And like 70 to 80% of the people, like in the 91 elections to dissolve or keep the Soviet Union, most of the people wanted to keep the Union, but then, the actual autocratic government of Yeltsin
I seriously
literally threatened
feel like
civil
somebody
war.
like Finbull could make a whole fucking series on this guy.
Yeah, the people of the USSR never wanted capitalism. What they wanted was better socialism.
Yeah, I mean, you can't blame them, but
Yeah,
even then,
they
it's not
had
what this kid wants.
They had a lot of political and economic problems during the 1980s, some of which were caused by Gorbachev, mind you. But,
yes, I fuck Gorbachev, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, Gorbachev was the real revisionist. Everyone talks shit about Khrushchev. Gorbachev was 10 times worse than Khrushchev.
He was. Like, I think my take on Khrushchev is he did deviate from the Marxist-Leninist plan, but I do think at heart the guy really was still a socialist.
Yeah, he was. It's just Khrushchev made some errors and mistakes, and I don't really think he was as good of a leader as Stalin. I think Andropov would have been a proper success.
Did you just drop again?
Are you guys there? Am I dead?
You did for
I
a
drop
second.
out?
We hear you.
Am I all robot?
We can hear you now.
Okay, cool. I'm just gonna leave most of the talking to you guys then, because I keep dropping out.
Well, look, a lot of these so-called nationalist heroes, they were the people that sold out not just it was terrible that they sold out groups that were targeted by the Nazis, but in addition to targeted groups for the Holocaust.
That happened like years after.
It was only like 7 years after.
That still happened after.
Yeah, it's the same people doing this stuff. But they sold their people, the Ukrainians, to the Nazis. Like, they were cool. Like, the Nazis, they
pause. All right, once you get onto the Ukraine, then I get emotional, because that's where my family were running around. They were running in the fucking Ukraine, and the Nazis were fucking coming and fucking burning people alive in their fucking village houses and shit. And it was only... Like, most people don't even know about this actual event, but this was a thing. And there's so many untold stories that this kid probably never that most people have not heard. Mike, I'll tell you, man, once you start talking about the Ukraine and act like you know what you're talking about, that's why I kept trying to type in. Do you remember when you and me were typing in Chat Traveler? We were no, man. You were like, I would love to debate this kid. He got this shit so fucking wrong, this guy did.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. I remember posting a lot because he was pissing me off.
Dude, it's cool that you took my call. I called you. Do you remember that? I was like, fuck this kid.
Yeah, no, like it was like 4:30. You called me, and we're like, yeah, we gotta address this. Well, I gotta find some extra cringe moments. Like, let's go around here.
Oh yeah, because it only gets worse.
It does. Like, it only gets worse as we go.
I
mean, this guy acts like there weren't actual people in these countries that wouldn't have sold out their people.
Yeah, no, decentralization would not have like addressed any. Like, that's what I'm talking about. How does workers directly owning, controlling shit address like an incoming genocidal horde that wants to enslave you?
Region of the world that still ultimately has certain things regulated by the world government. I want things like human rights, for example, to be regulated by the world government, but probably
what
not.
What are human rights?
What buildings a certain community can build, I guess. Like, I haven't made this pit.
Yes.
Okay. This kid talks so much about self-determination, but he wants to fucking police everything and everyone. He wants one world. He wants a one world government. Like self-determination, one world government, dude. That does not match. People don't like globalism. People oppressed of the third world are very proud of their countries and their heritages, and that's not chauvinist. And B-Level was trying to make that point.
Otto, I have to give you serious credit. Thank you for saying the word globalism, because that is not a right-wing term. The right-wing hijacked that. Dialectically, globalism is the higher stage of imperialism, because globalism involves neo-feudalism, neo-colonialism, and it's the end of neoliberalism.
That I didn't actually know. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it is. That's actual dialectics. I worked on this with quite a few MLs and MLMs on this. This is what we did out here in Arizona. We got anarchists involved in, like, we started looking at like things, and one of the things that people don't know is that the CIA actually takes left-wing ideas and they shove it back and make it into conspiracy theories.
Do you have any like material on this, like any media?
A little bit, yeah, a little bit. I'm trying to get a lot of stuff going on, but this kid is a perfect subject to be like. Can I tell you what I think's going on? I don't think it's exactly COINTELPRO. I do think COINTELPRO is staging certain people in RedTube, and I don't think this kid is one of them. But I do think that it's like, I don't know, it's hard to explain. It's like they're psychologically profiling people, and it's hard to explain how that stuff works.
I have a new theory. Everyone says Vaush is a glowy, and that Xanderhal is, but I have a better theory. This is the free market at work. These people can be commodified. They can be advertised.
Yeah.
They are friendly to the status quo, implicit to the status quo, while criticizing the status quo. Capitalist real.
You dropped again.
What I call commodified resistance. They don't
Chad,
really
you have to
resist
repeat all
the
that
system.
again, man.
So did you at least hear the part where I said commodified resistance?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Vaush, Xanderhal, and this fucker, if he ever goes anywhere, are commodified resistance. It is a business model. They are commodifying the very desire to criticize and take down capitalism, to overthrow the system, to challenge the system without actually challenging the system. Because in order to do that, that would require actually suggesting
they're
a real
cornering the market for leftism. That's what I said.
Yeah.
Before.
So I think this is what. Can you guys still hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is what I think Maupin was talking about with synthetic left.
Oh shoot.
Socialists, but they're all anti-communists, and they don't actually do anything to challenge the status quo.
Well, they're rad lips.
They're just trying to make money. Like, that's what I'm saying. Vaush, Xanderhal, and I bet you this guy's cashing on the grift, which is why he fucking repeats everything word for word that comes out of Vaush's mouth. And he does this several times, making the same arguments, same talking points.
He's on a roll and then it drops. That's not fair.
Now we can't hear you.
Oh, shit. How are you doing, Otto Bolshevik?
I'm actually doing pretty well. Glad
I want to
to
kill
guys.
myself. But anyways.
Pitched to a whole lot of people, so nah. But obviously to get to that stage is going to be a long fucking time. We could get it done in this.
No. Everything this kid says, man, pisses me off.
I'm a bit more optimistic. This is going to be a very long and very difficult process. Very long and very difficult place over the course of 300 years.
Yep, that's what I'm talking about. Repeating word for word what Vaush is saying.
Thunderthal says this, and he says it a lot more where it sounds less rehearsed. Like Xander Pig is pretty slick. Like,
at least
this kid is bad. He's transparent. So here's what we're looking at. We have officially caught plagiarizing
Vaush.
To VaushTube or whatever. I mean, I think the thing is B-Level needs to get Mexi or fucking non-compete. And I know a lot of people don't like non-compete or Mexi, okay? I understand that. But they're respectful as people. And that's who we really want to talk to. If we want to talk to people in BreadTube to confront them about BreadTube, we would have that right dialectically to struggle like that with BreadTube. But we would have we would have to get Mexi's attention, and we'd have to get Non-Compete's attention. I don't think that's going to happen. Well, it might. It might if we get Deadman to help us, but I doubt it, and I don't know if I really like Deadman or not, to be honest.
Wait, what did Mexi do? How come people don't really like her?
I don't dislike Mexi. I just have problems with her. It's hard to explain.
Mexi is a fucking hippie liberal. Well, not.
Yeah. Chad here can't stand Mexi. I'm all right with Mexi. I just don't personally trust her or like her.
Revolution, man. Why can't we just sit around and smoke weed?
I do sympathize with something.
I mean, they're okay.
Yeah, man.
I do sympathize with something she says, though.
Why do we got to do like this masculine, fucking
I
violent?
hate that. That's why I believe in feminism.
People don't respect the true value and the femininity of birthing and creating, man. You just need to take DMT.
Yeah, I'm not.
I've never seen that part of it.
Feminism. I consider feminism to be social matriarchy. I'm not against all versions of feminism. I'm not saying all feminists are the same version of it. There's forms of it that I respect. I still am not a feminist regardless, but to me,
screw feminism. Where's the weed, man?
Liberal feminism has somehow found a way. I noticed. Have you noticed that it's not even like radical feminism or whatever, but like liberal feminism has found a way to get into the left. And it's kind of weird because as much as I don't agree with feminism, I respect the actual left-wing feminists, like the real ones, because they do make legitimate grievances. But you don't see them that come from Mexi, and I have noticed that she does speak in the language of liberal feminism. Because if she was to speak in radical left feminist terms, she wouldn't say demasculinizing words when trying to describe saving the ecosystem. She wouldn't say, well, I still think we're so privileged, and that's why we want a violent revolution. They're killing black people in the street,
disrupted.
Mexi.
Female energy is creative.
She's just bad.
Dude, you just need to take some DMT, bro, and then you'll understand. Take a hit of acid, bro. It'll enlighten you.
A lot of women are having their rights stripped away. You know what they need? They need guns. They need to be armed.
Yeah,
they need to fight.
Guns. Yes.
They need the weed, man. Why do we need to fight?
I think we need is we need masculinist feminists. I think that's what we need. That would be really good egalitarian approach. If we had I will say, all right, as a masculinist, I'll take away MRA and MGTOW at the same time and join forces with the rad.
Oh yeah, no, MGTOW is very reactionary, but
I think I'm going to say that. I'll do that publicly right now. I assert myself as a masculinist in an alliance with the radical feminists to take down liberal feminism.
Hey, no, guys.
You got to do something about your thing.
We need something to like downplay the atrocities that they can.
But the thing is, like, I feel like there are people who are more obsessed with how they perceive, the negatives of past socialism versus the pre-existing styles of government in those locations, and B, just the other imperial powers that existed in the world. Like, there's no discussion of that.
To a degree, I'd almost agree with them on that, because like the negative perception of those societies is the reason why so many people are hesitant to listen to us.
Can we pause this real quick?
Only in the West, because of how propagandized people are. Like, dude, let me just say this real quick. Like I said again, I'll said it before and I'll say it again. Even if those experiments were perfect, they got everything right.
Don't drop, man.
To slander this
kid is
so you may as well defend him. Oh yeah, he's a little pussy ass bitch. Like, seriously,
got a very damageable face. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that.
Very, very damageable face, very effeminate shape. No offense to the femboys out there, but no.
Yeah, no hate on androgynous or trans or anything like that.
No.
I'm saying this little pretty bitch is like, he's got a punchable face. That's all I'm saying.
I want to make a point here. Like, these people, these stupid breadtubers or whatever, they always talk about like optics or whatever. Like, that they want to like they only see leftism as like, a trend or whatever. Like, they want to look cool, They don't want to be associated with those gross, icky, awful people like Stalin or Mao or whatever. Like they want to look like the
But
good
I'm telling
guys.
you, man, like these kids like this kid right here, this whole he's not, he wouldn't even be good for real anarchists, straight up. Like a lot of this is what I've been trying to tell people about BreadTube. Like I know anarchists, they hate BreadTube. Like they hate BreadTube. Like you don't know, bro. Like they really hate it. Like, and I think a lot of it is because we're talking about people that really get dirty hands a lot, like get deep into the street level of stuff. And they would take one look at this debate and they would like, I mean, I know quite a few of them, and I don't think I'd show them this because it's just so embarrassing. Like he's just a middle-class brat.
Fuck it. I want to be a debate bro. I'll debate this motherfucker gladly any day of the week. I will gladly trounce this bitch.
So, by the way, for everybody, and I'm not doxing him or anything, but Chad Antifa here, you know, Mr. Fellow Traveler, just so you guys know, this is an actual proletarian. So like it would be interesting if we talked like to this kid. Like I know like people should, if people want to know about somebody like legit Fellow Traveler here, like you could probably crush this person in class economic like discussion. He doesn't even know what socialism is. That's what is obvious.
Dude, I don't know jack about dick, and I can tell you this guy knows jack about dick. Like seriously.
I wonder if he's ever had a job.
Guy has in his entire body, and I say this as someone who can confidently say I don't know shit. Nah, fuck this guy. I would like to debate him though. I'm not gonna lie.
Bet you he's never done any hard work of any kind.
No, I guarantee you this man's hands are soft. No, this boy's hands are soft. Look at his hands. I guarantee you can tell his hands are soft.
But
Are you guys alive?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're here.
also,
Just making sure my reception didn't drop.
Negative perception of those societies is the reason why so many people are hesitant to listen to us.
Yeah, because they've been lied about and propagandized, and you do us no favors by reaffirming that propaganda and talking your bullshit.
People think like they're so profound for slightly stepping from like the left of Democrats. Like it's really like annoying. And you have all these like ex-fascists, ex-reactionaries that genuinely do need to like get rid of like their fucking chauvinistic thinking. And it's not like it's annoying because there are fascists that, you know, they can be changed. Well, you know, if they're willing to change, but it's like this kid is probably not willing to like bite the bullet.
Hey, can I address something that I heard on your guys' Ewoks Unhinged? It's just been an ongoing question. The question of is it easier to reach liberals or conservatives? And I would say that it's easier to reach people that don't identify as either, which is actually the vast majority. Most people can't stand anything liberal or conservative. Your average Joe doesn't care about any of that shit. You are looking for the apolitical, and that's why people are uncomfortable. They don't want to reach out to the apolitical, but that's what you got to fucking do. Otherwise, you're just doing political incest. And I'm sorry, I'm getting vulgar now, but
I mean, honestly, like I'm pretty sure their stance is like, you know, depends on like what class you are. In my opinion, is just like, you know, it depends. If they're willing to change, if they're willing to want change, then, you know, you can radicalize them. If they're well-meaning, bring them forward. Like regardless of like who you are or whatnot, I guess.
I don't think you can radicalize middle-class gamer bros. I don't think so.
No, the mid-income region is largely lost. I believe the two revolutionary classes in America are...
Bro, they're going fascist because the middle class, which will exist for a little while, but it won't exist forever with this COVID shit. And as it dissipates, you know they're going to go fascist, right? We have to be prepared to fight them.
No, I'm...
Oh, don't drop. Stop dropping.
Freaking 40 to 50 hours a week. I'm referring to the lumpen. I believe there's revolutionary potential amongst the lumpen.
There is. That's all I work with is the lumpen, bro.
The lumpen and actual proletariat, like first world
like
proletariat.
you're actual proletariat.
Yeah, dude, I work 50 hours at FedEx. Of course I'm fucking proletariat.
Yeah, you're a clerk. By the way, yes, clerk. It's a smaller form of hard labor, but clerk working is still proletariat technically.
Right.
Like it's consumer class shit that Jason always talks about. For instance, when he talks about the over, and that is unfortunately the mass of workers. The mass of workers work in grocery stores and stuff like that, and that is kind of
Not only that, but like I wouldn't say like it depends on earnings entirely, because I mean you could live well like at home, but if you're working, like if you're putting in hours constantly, then like I would regard you as like
well,
the
yeah, that could be
proletariat.
proletariat. That could be proletariat. But see, that's the other thing. These are the discussions we need to be having more. Like I've said before, this is why I get pissed off at all you communists. Is you guys, all you do is talk about like abstract stuff. But that's the kind of thing we have to define in conditions in the United States or Canada. What defines proletariat? And you'd find we'd all end up agreeing, and that's just the truth, regardless of whether the Trotskyists over here, anarchists there, Marxists there, whatever. We would all end up agreeing on what it constitutes.
The thing is that what's his name, Ugopnik, he made a good video on it. Like, I mean, a lot of things are really complicated because there is a clear definition to petty bourgeois, and there is like a clear definition.
Well, here's the thing: I say screw this kid because this
proletariat.
kid is not proletariat. It's not even that he means bad. He doesn't know any better. He's middle class. He thinks it's a business. He's not proletariat. This is how you defeat breadtube. Show that it's not proletariat.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is,
you do all that to the anarchists. You can totally disagree with the anarchists. I always disagree with them. Well, I mean, I agree with a lot of what they believe, but I'm always disagreeing with the anarchists because they're totally utopian. They have outdated ideas largely. I mean, they do make advancements, but point being, case in point, BreadTube's not even anarchist, dude. BreadTube is rad lib shit. That's all it is. It's just a radical liberal market for socialism.
Yeah. Like, I mean, this is mainly for people who, don't really want to get involved like that much. Like, they just want to be comfortable with their ideas.
People understand, and this is why I got so enraged at this kid, is that people don't get that there's an actual correspondence between Holocaust revisionists, which is crypto, which was very thinly veiled crypto Holocaust denial, how that intertwines with Holodomor exaggeration shit and all that other nonsense. That somehow Stalin was behind a heat wave, and the purges, he purged everybody that disagreed with him. Remember, guys, Stalin killed 60,000 people, 60,000 billion zillion people, and the entire universe. We're all in a simulation, bro. Stalin did it.
Yeah, I mean, this kid clearly gets all of his bullshit from Orwell.
Yeah,
who literally ratted out his people.
Guys, remember, Orwell's Animal Farm is a legitimate historical document, and if you
just
disagree...
a piece of literature. Hey, look, I don't mind 1984, but it is fiction, dude. It is fictional. It is not real.
No, what do you mean, dude? That was clearly the USSR.
Yeah,
it was so right.
Dude, guys, the chat is going crazy. Holy shit. Anyways, hey, let's see what this guy has left to say. I'm sorry, but the more I hear this dude talk, the less respect that I have for him.
Actually, the funny is your chat looks great, bro. People are actually saying things in here. I mean, they're joking too, which is to be expected because I recognize some of these people. But
hold on, let's hear what this young chap has to say.
From the Glass Lane, No More Libs says that he's not for the lumpen. I am for the lumpen. I will let the Glass Snow Gang know that.
God damn it, let me play this. I know you want to say something, but I want to play this. I'm sorry. I'm losing my mind. I can't tell if that's you or the stream or whatever.
There are many people in Russia, for example, who see you're looking at things from a Western perspective. Because you're
no, these people promote conservative values.
Oh, wait, no. They don't have nostalgia for their old homeland. And
they literally do. I literally know Russians, okay? They want the Soviet Union back. That is just a fact, man. I'm so tired of people think you're not entitled to an opinion if the opinion is not correct. I'm sorry. And I think that's my fucking problem with the concept of freedom or whatever. I'm not for free speech. I'm for truth speech, for correct speech.
But according to my liberal sense of freedom, that's authoritarian.
No, I'm sorry. It's not authoritarian.
That's the thing.
Libertarian. There's no such fucking thing. I hate these stupid fucking liberal words, man. Libertarian, totalitarian, whatever-tarian. This is all Western shit. No, there's just different systems with different theories, and a lot of them have the same philosophy. We all agree that socialism is what should replace capitalism because it's been economically proven to work. Which actually, to the very so-called regimes that this kid disses.
Anyway. Thing is, though, like these people would literally support like the free speech of like what's it called, like Nazis or whatever, because we could quote unquote debate them in the marketplace of ideas or something.
Except that they're killing us. You know, they're doing a number on black people right now with the cops.
No, even well, I mean, even worse than that. They actually. I feel like they see us as even more of a threat than Nazis to like the broader movement, even though it's been Marxist-Leninists and Marxist-Leninist Maoists who have been like some of the most active people on the ground.
That makes me so fucking angry, man. I lost my grandmother in the Holocaust, man. Nazis are not funny.
Yeah, no, they really, really love to scapegoat Jews for all of society's problems.
They're anti-progressive. They're not communist in the way that it's actually defined. They're not socialist. They're just conservative who like the aesthetics of a dead civilization.
So you're going to rule out all the benefits of having full employment and like free healthcare and education and like equal economic rights and actually feeling like you're part of a society that actually gives a shit about you? You're really going to rule all that out, dude? How like bourgeois...
This literally fucking is painful, dude. It's painful because like if you say you are a socialist, you have to at least acknowledge the history of the different socialist movements and what the USSR was up against. Like Hitler fucking invaded Russia and shit. There's all kinds of things that did. I don't think it makes a dent in this. If you can't feel that, I don't think you're a leftist. I'm sorry.
I mean, like this kid probably grew up in like a lot of what fellow traveler described. So you know, it's not like, yeah. Like you can't actually see how fucking important.
This is why the internet should have come in the 80s and not the 90s.
This is the reason why we need purges.
You Jacobin, what's up?
I'm in favor of a proletarian state, but we need to recognize the fact that a lot of people hear proletarian state and they think gulags. That's just what's happening.
Okay, well,
we need to rehabilitate the image of socialism, and we're not doing that by...
Well, Caleb is actually doing that. Go listen. Like, out of curiosity, have you watched any of his streams or read any of his books?
I've watched some of his videos, and he pretty much everything he does is just anti-US. Like that's
So, do you guys remember when I mentioned he gets all of them?
No, keep going. Just, I'm waiting for you to speak. This hurts. I'm hurt. I'm in pain.
Do you guys remember when I said he gets all of his opinions from Vaush?
Yeah.
Well, this is that right now. That is straight up something from Vaush. Like Caleb is not anti-American. He doesn't want America.
In fact, that's my biggest disagreement with Caleb. Is he's very pro-American.
No.
I respect him though because he's a constitutionalist about it. He's not actually necessarily, you know, a bad. I mean, his version of it, I disagree with it, but I respect it. It's principle.
Yeah.
It is principle. I'll give them that. I give that to Caleb Maupin.
I disagree with some of Caleb's takes. I think he's kind of silly. But otherwise, I respect him. I respect his like opinion. I mean, he's better than a lot of people on the left. I'll take Caleb Maupin over Vaush. I'm not gonna.
Remember that whole Thought Slime Caleb Maupin drama?
I still don't understand.
I don't think it's
I
fair
feel like Thought Slime deep down is a good guy, but I think that he's kind of I don't know. He's easily coercible into bad ideas, in my opinion. Easily.
Yeah.
At least Caleb's like respectable. Like you could tell, like a lot of
No,
these
I
like
respect
RedTube
Caleb.
schmucks are fucking
The
like
truth
in it
is,
for the money.
is I have a lot more criticisms I wish I could make of Caleb, but I won't, just because I do respect him that much, because he does do good stuff. He does a good job at what he does, man. He does. That's why I won't say too much about him, because like I have my disagreements, but I'll say I don't like the way people attack Caleb, because I find it to be intellectually dishonest, if that makes sense.
No, it does.
Oh,
These
you
people
interviewed
clearly
a
don't like
gospel.
drama.
Caleb is kind of a journalist, actually. So yeah.
Nazbol Party, it is the gang for you and me. Nazbol Party against the Jewish bourgeoisie. Anyways.
Fine.
U.S.
That's fine. Of the United States, but that's not going to build socialism.
Oi, mate! It's not going to build socialism by actually.
Oh man, I don't like this kid.
No worries, mate.
Right. You recognize the United States as the primary revolution killer in the world right now, so I think that's pretty relevant in terms of building revolution.
Yeah, I don't think North Korea is a particularly revolutionary society.
Wrong.
Yeah, according to you.
You know what, man? This is so not cool, because B-Level is the superest, chillest person you could ever.
The DPRK.
Yeah.
And he's always disguised as a teddy bear from Star Wars. So, you know, my gosh, man. This kid's almost sounding aggressive, and it bothers me.
The DPRK was literally a Japanese colony. America came to claim it as a colony of their own, and they fought to kick them out. And modern-day North Korea is the legitimate government of Korea.
I mean, thing is, this kid believes, I bet he believes that, you know, all people in the DPRK are like brainwashed or whatever. Like, you know, they can't really think for themselves and shit. Like, the average DPRK citizen is more radical. Well, you know what? No, the South Korean people are more radical than this kid, because even people in the South are getting tired of America's bullshit. So he has no right to speak on who's revolutionary or not, when he's been a fascist for like 6 months, and like, you know, the people of the DPRK have been living under fascism for forever from the US.
Hey guys, both of you, I have an idea. I just had a great idea, or it was a bad idea. You'll have to let me know, because I'm kind of high. But I have an idea. We should ask everybody in chat. But Chad has to do it. It's his channel. We should ask everybody in chat what their ideas of are, what it would take to get something better than BreadTube. Like what Jason's been trying to propose.
Yeah, no, we need an alternative to BreadTube, and I think it should be BeardTube, or MLTube as it's called.
Yeah, I think if we had like Mason Steiner, Jason Unruh, Danky Kane possibly. I mean, bring Dead Man Animations on. I want to talk to that guy.
If Danky ever comes back from the dead, Jesus.
Oh, I miss Danky, because I loved his streams. I've never spoken to Danky. I just watched him. I was like, man, it was so cool, because it was only him. You don't know, man. It was only him and Neo Jacobin back in the day that actually challenged BreadTube. Like, for real.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Danky King literally like changed.
They were the only ones that actually did it originally.
I mean, he changed me from being a Vaushite, so.
Well, yeah, then Phoenix Rising had her problems, and then Piper had her problems. I mean, it just spiraled from there, you know, and people, I think that's what's getting, that's what's humanizing, like, the tankies in the eyes of a lot of anarchists, is that they're saying, wait, actually, BreadTube is misrepresenting us, and, like, you have a lot of them that are pretty cool. I mean, like, I would like to talk to the obnoxious anarchists. I would love to talk to them. That'd be cool. That would be interesting for me, because I do get along pretty well with the anarchists, real ones though. But I can tell he's an anarchist, because I heard him talk, and I was like, wow, that guy is an anarchist. I was like, shit, and that's what I don't like about BreadTube is it and it will also like misrepresent Marxism. Like, for one thing, you can't be both. You can't be a Marxist and an anarchist. Like, I'm not a Marxist or anarchist, because I'm a Bundist, right? Like, there's contradictions in those theories, but like, that's an insult to those theories when you're saying you're both. You know, he's like Vosh, when he says he's a Marxist and he says he's an anarchist, he is simultaneously disrespecting both simultaneously when he does that.
It's not like he cares.
Well, see, an anarchist will respect you by deliberately saying, yes, I completely disagree with you. You know what I mean? So I don't know. There's something very violent, if you notice, about the friendly face. It's like a liberal thing. And Vosh actually would make a great, terrible, I don't know, politician just because of shit like that. Hey, we're in the Trump era. It could happen. I'm scared, aren't you? Unless we get rid of BreadTube. I think we should get rid of. So from the Glass Snow game, their leader, No More Libs Please, says we should declare a holy war and make RiceTube. Here's the vote. We'll do the vote. This is what we'll give you guys. Myself, fellow traveler, and Jason, possibly all three of the Ewoks. That includes you, Otto. We will vote, or we will help delegate some ideas. But so far, just as the unofficial title, what are we going to call this? Beard Tube, Mustache Tube, Rice Tube, or I don't know.
Mustache Tube is too much.
Beard Tube's fine. It uses the same letters, and it's a good pun and bastardization. But as for the Holy War, inshallah, comrade, inshallah, I'm totally down for that.
Inshallah. By the way, that means I know some Arabic because as I'm Jewish, we're very close actually culturally to the Muslims. Inshallah, actually, by the way, means God willing, Godspeed.
Yes, inshallah. I'm gonna actually, I want to hit up Hakeem. I've been wanting to talk to him for a
Jason really admires Hakeem. Like Jason admires all the third world broadcasters, and he likes Hakeem because like Jason's very familiar with the Islamic world. That's one of the reasons why why me and him get along so well. It's like we know the same things. That's actually why we both like Neo Jacobin, and I hope Neo Jacobin hears me because I don't know if he heard me the last time I tried to talk to him.
Neo Jacobin is my favorite revisionist, but anyways, I would like to learn Russian. I'm not gonna lie. I want to learn Russian and Chinese and Spanish and a bunch of other languages because if we're going to be an international movement, it's only fair that we know how to talk to other nationalities. And I feel like English is kind of limited. Like whenever I do streams.
No, actually, Jason Sami, he's not a Muslim. Where did fellow traveler go? Can everybody hear me? Why is nobody, there's like, everything is quiet now.
Yeah, he cut out. Sorry, my mom came in and gave me dinner, so.
Oh, okay, that's cool, Oh, your mom gives you dinner? Cool. My wife does that sometimes when I'm at her house.
I mean, well, I just got out of high school, so can't do much about my situation, but I'm happy.
Hey, tell me, how did you become a socialist, bro? Like, I'm a little older than everybody here. I'm in my 30s, but like, how did you become a socialist, bro? It's good being a socialist. But what radicalized you?
I mean, I'll be honest. I watched a bit of Destiny or whatever, and I watched Vosh, and then I watched like a little bit of Finbull and like Hakeem and whatnot, and Tovarish and Damien.
Thank you for telling me that. No, bro, thank you for mentioning all. Even in Damien, that's what I just won the bet with Jason. I told Jason that. I said, Jason, no, you don't understand. It's you. It's Finbull. It's Hakeem. It's in Damien. It's like the actual like dialectical communists on YouTube that are actually radical, that people are watching, not just in the first world and the third world. And I actually happen to know this. I actually can find stuff like that out because I'm involved in actual organization. So I go to a lot of places, and I'll tell you, man, everybody's watching Finbull all the time. Like Finbull, everybody watches Finbull now. He has more viewers than he has subscribers. People do watch Jason. Like the serious ones here out in the streets, we are the ones that are getting tired of people mocking Jason. We actually like the poor slum people, and I represent the slums.
Fuck it.
We love Jason.
RiceTube. RiceTube. We should. It's either BeerTube or RiceTube. That works. The MLM sphere. That should be RiceTube.
All right. Well, I think I should let everybody know. Antifa, by the way, started as a Marxist-Leninist movement by the guy that did the German World Socialist Republic song. So that's Antifa. I think people should know that that's the actual history of it.
Hey, guys.
And in our time, it is only a united leftist front. By leftist, we mean radical leftists, like hard anarchists, not anarcho-pacifists. We do have some anarchists we don't like, and some we do. But that's the thing, is it's based in the solid concept of the only good fascist is you know what.
In a video game fascist, guys, do you really want to keep talking about this fucking irrelevant teenager? I mean, he's not really a teenager, but he's an honorary teenager in my eyes.
He just made me angry, dude. Like, I actually know about the places that I could go into my background, but that would be a lot. But like, I'm connected to a lot of the world. He does not fucking know what he's talking about. It just legitimately pissed me off.
I mean, 18-year-old here, he does not look any. I thought he was like 18 or 19. Like 21 years old does not make that much of a difference in you. Like, other evidence includes Xander Hall.
Yeah, but you're kind of smarter. I'm not saying that he was stupid. I'm only saying that he lacked intelligence.
Auto Bowl, you are an honorary 23-year-old in my eyes.
Bro, like you're actually quite hip. You're quite hip. By the way, for everybody who doesn't know, hip was an old term, which means you know what's going on.
Wouldn't everyone know that?
Yeah, that's me. Welcome to me. I'm all weird.
Nah,
I'm a real life personality.
I mean, shit. Like, the thing is like, I still got a lot of reading to catch up on. So
no,
like,
you're actually quite bright. I'm impressed. I have to tell you that. You're actually rather bright.
I mean, I'll be honest. It's because of people like, fellow Traveler, Danky Kang, Tavarish. Like, if it wasn't for Danky Kang, I would still be like, like a Vaushite or whatnot. And I even told him that. Because I remember seeing like his videos, like the thumbnails, they were like, Vaush is a rad lib. And I was like, oh, what is this? Like, this dude is like probably a cringe tanky. And I watched him and was like, I mean, he's right. Vaush is like an asshat. I mean,
don't ever. This is one thing I'd suggest to you. Don't settle on anything because it's in the group. Like, if you like, I'm guessing you're kind of Marxist-Leninist at this point. If you're a Marxist-Leninist, be a Marxist-Leninist because you actually hold by those convictions and study. I would say study the anarchists too. Like, there's a lot of good stuff the anarchists wrote, but I think it's kind of funny that people will point, because I have problems with Marx, but the anarchists said more fucked up shit than Marx did on bigoted terms. Like, it's just a fact, And I'm not saying that reflects anarchism, but that's the point. They said more things, and that doesn't reflect anarchism. So Marx said bigoted things, but it wasn't less. So why would this is the mentality I just don't buy. I'm like, yeah, well, Marxists are always fucked up. Then why are they all, as B-Level said, then why are almost all the people of color that are far left, why are they always Marxist-Leninists or Maoists or something like that?
It's not even like being ML or Maoist or whatever. It's just like, the collective spirit that minorities, like you and I have, like, that minority, like, if you're not Western, you don't have that Western individualism. Like, libertarian socialism doesn't fucking, like, it doesn't mesh with you.
I think that's why it's been possible for Bundists and Marxist-Leninists who've had like a terrible bitter history because we have a terrible bitter history. But I think that what's changed that is we both have a very familiar joint history. We have a very similar history. Like, I'm speaking of Eastern Europe quite familiarly, and I know friends. I've known people in Pakistan and stuff like that. Like, people don't understand that collectively we will take the communists over even our own strands of socialism if we have different ones because of the fact that we're anti-imperialists. A lot of people don't get that. And this kid is like so divorced from that. Oh my gosh, I'm dealing with a quiet crowd.
All right, so guys, now that I'm back from the dead, I would like to review the final clips from this stream and just address.
Yeah, let's go with let's drink the poison now. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go ahead and go like around here. I'm just gonna run it, and I'll turn the volume down while B-Level's talking, and we'll just provide commentary. So let's just go ahead and wrap up because I don't want to go longer. Like, originally, I only wanted this to be about an hour, but it's lasting way longer.
North
China.
No.
War was actually on parity, in some cases better than South Korea. It was only after the fall of the Soviet Union they lost their main trading partner. China.
Oh yeah, for those of you who don't know, the DPRK was actually outperforming South Korea for a while. It was really until like the Soviet Union stopped supplying them with fertilizer in the 90s. They had a really bad famine, and like they were struggling really hardcore.
And a monsoon.
International.
And a monsoon. or not a monsoon, like a typhoon. I forgot what you called them over
This
there.
kid doesn't understand. He can't even speak of the actual context of the world disasters that were natural, by the way.
Monsoon, typhoon, they had to level a couple mountains to make some farmland. Anyways.
Such an economic boom that's going to fucking shape the very way in which like the entire Earth is functions. I'm praying for that. I want Africa to be developed. I want it to be a fucking paradise. So,
anyways, hold on.
He has a snarl on him when he talks about this stuff.
Why is that?
I'm not sure that's even the case, to be honest.
It is, dude.
Nearly every tank that I've met has been pasty white as fuck.
This is what they were talking about, like most tankies or MLs are brown or black or whatever, which is true, by the way.
It is true.
Yeah, no, it's true. Like they just are.
It is true.
They're over in Asia, Africa, and Eastern Europe.
Yeah. And by the way, most anarchists are of integrated neighborhoods that don't look like him. They all look poor as fuck.
Yeah.
If someone goes in with guns, all right then. If someone goes with guns and it's like, all right then, you motherfuckers are going to start doing something a bit differently. That's sort of an issue.
But does he understand that actually happened for the African experience in the New World?
By the way, I'm a Gaddafi supporter.
You were taken. You
What's up?
I'm a Gaddafi supporter. I just think I should say that.
I'm a critical Gaddafi supporter. He was better than the war-torn hellscape that modern-day Libya is.
Nationalism is in the United States.
Gaddafi was I.
Say this.
Yeah, he's backed off on that statement before, like multiple.
Anyways, I'm just skipping around, guys. If you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear. God, this kid made me so angry, bro.
What do you think of the idea of indigenous people having their own like nation states and whatnot?
Indigenous, fuck me, that's a really fucking complicated one. On principle.
Yeah, skip ahead of that. I've already heard this conversation. Anyways, I don't care. Anyways,
we'll skip to the end part that we didn't see. There was a part we didn't see. Remember, because like.
Oh yeah, like the last 15 minutes.
Yeah. I saw a little bit more than you, but not by much.
When I look back,
so like the last 15 minutes, I was hunting for ferrets. Sure. This was my ferret hunting period, guys. Oh, wow, really? And then it's just not shit? Okay. So then let's just go ahead and start right here then.
I think B-Level thought they were going to have a cordial conversation, honestly.
No, they weren't, because this guy's either a bad faith actor.
No, I think B-Level thought that originally.
God damn it. No, why? Why?
I don't know.
No, I mean, like, it literally won't let me fucking, hold on.
Bro, I think I know what's going on. I think he might have privatized it for a bit.
Shit, is he still having a stream up? It's okay, we can call it quits here.
Well, I can link it to you right now in the private chat if you want.
No, it's fine. I think we should wrap up here in a minute. Right. The long story short, the people that are revolutionary are not going to be the ones doing this champagne socialist shit. They're going to be the people on the ground, like actually organizing and so on. I don't know. I extended my hand. I messaged him on his YouTube, and I would like to debate this kid. He seems to be content with being a debate bro, so I'm going to give him what he wants. And he has no reason to
destroy him. No, destroy him, because he's a danger. He's from the middle class. He's not proletarian.
Yeah, no. Like, I have twice the subs as him, so he has nothing to lose from it. So let's go ahead and do that.
Oh yeah, like one thing is that like, these people are inherently, like whether they like it or not, whether they want to be or not, just not good faith. Because like they're built on, liberalism, on chauvinism. And like honestly, I was like, damn, you guys are like hard as fuck on this guy. But then I realized like, B-Level it was like, a nice as fuck dude who wanted to have like a debate with like, not a debate, like just a casual conversation. And he was telling me like, like I want this to be like,
totally talk to me. Like we should like it would the problem is he's hyper and so am I. Damn. But still it'd be great.
I mean, he's energetic. Like he wanted to have like a decent, like good faith conversation with him. And then this dude just fucking soils that. Like, you can't have a good faith conversation with any of these people. Because I've talked to, like, one of these types before. Thankfully, that guy changed. But, you know, like, either way, like, they just want to look smart or whatever. So, I mean, yeah, fuck this kid. Like, what does he think he is?
We should totally replace breadtube, because I think a lot of people are looking not just for good Marxist-Leninists, but I think everybody who knows anything already knows if you're a real socialist, of any kind, you're going to be chill with the Marxist-Leninists. That's just how things work. Like on the base poor level, because you know, even vanguard parties are in fact class-orientated parties. They're not like parties you register for. That's like real vanguardism. And the funny thing is, Macno was for vanguards.
All right.
This kid was a very disconnected from everything that was real. It was odd. It was like he just walked on stage and decided to imitate leftism.
I would like to address some of these comments. Yes, I am relevant enough to pop on your algorithm. How could you tell? Another part of it was the apparatus of our politics itself was working to oppose Corbyn, because I have no idea. Oh yeah, no, he was too far left for the status quo. No, liberalism can't even tolerate social democracy.
I'm a Corbyn sympathizer, but I didn't think it was going to go anywhere. And I never really endorsed Sanders, but I sympathized whenever people said shit about it when he was saying a good idea.
Worst Korea was a U.S. project versus the DPRK. Truth. Yeah, no, rice tube. We'll stick with rice tube. There's nothing racist about it. Rice is a universal staple. There's nothing racist about it. Next time I live stream, I will have a bowl of rice in my hands. So just heads up.
Well, I probably would not. I'd probably get voted down, but just an idea, as I am Jewish. Falafel tube.
Edit. I left and came back. Anyways, there's truth that the world and history is varying degrees. I can't read Mexi's mind, though. I have nothing personally against Mexi. I just think she's kind of like a little too hippie-ish.
I'm kind of the same way. In fact, I think she's actually a good person, ultimately. I think she does want good things, but I think she's kind of, I don't know.
Vaush gives kids confidence to be dumb and have opinions premature. Yes, this is very fucking true. Vaush speaks authoritatively and confidentially on issues he only has a surface level understanding on. And that's one of the reasons why he's so harmful, because all he does is reaffirm and parrot like liberal propaganda and like shit on MLs and shit on people that are like dedicated revolutionaries. Like, I'm sorry, but the revolution is not popular. And, you know, if you're shitting on like the USSR, if you're shitting on like actually existing socialism, you're not really revolutionary. You're just a left-wing anti-communist. You're just a petite bourgeois reformer of the Chomskyite type. And people like this are just fucking harmful to our movement.
I think what it is when people really truly put the left in material terms, it is going to be a decolonization movement first and foremost. And it may have a green side to it, but all of that is going to be what? Anti-capitalist. If you oppose the imperialism and further tearing down of the racist monuments, you're an anti-capitalist, because colonialism is very capital-based, right? I mean, it's unbased, but I mean, it's capitalist-based. The whole capitalism is so interwoven to their issues that, and with the crisis we're having, there's not going to be a peaceful revolution. But at the same time, it's not going to be one you can vote in either. You can't vote it in. And I heard Zanderthal quite a few times talk about, you know, actually, he doesn't seem to know. It was, and even Michael Moore got this wrong. Hitler actually couped Germany. It just so happens that the government didn't care. And that's where we're at right now. That's where we've replicated Germany.
I'm really sorry if you guys heard me chewing right there. I did not know I was... Wait, did you?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you guys could hear me chew on the ice. So.
Hey, I'm sorry if
no, I don't hear you.
Hear Autobolt's chewing, could hear my chewing, could hear me. I don't know, not saying anything.
This is real life now.
You know it. So
I'm smoking vaporized marijuana. So.
Oh, dude, you've got some vape? Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I used to chief on the vape all the time last year at my old day job. I'm thinking about getting me like a vape pen, or a G pen, and just going into my current job and just vaping while I'm moving boxes around and shit. Problem is I don't have a Connect.
I'm sorry, by the way, if I've been super hyper again. I tried to tone it down this time.
Dude, Net, you're good. You're good. You're good.
I'm sorry. I will make a
Love you,
public
dude.
confession to everybody. I actually do have massive ADHD, and my marijuana helps me not be that too spastic.
Dude, I'm just happy that I'm part of a community like this of people who actually care and actually like understand the world for what
I
it
want Neo Jacobin in
Same.
in conversation with me. Like there's people that are making content that are being underestimated. Like I'll be very clear with Neo Jacobin right now. I hope he's listening. I severely disagree with you on the stupidity of nonviolence. No offense, but there's a lot of social conservative positions you take that I agree with.
Yo, S4A, Hakeem has like close to 40,000 subs now. So no, and he's got potential to grow. He's got very good potential.
I wouldn't try to bother him, but if he ever wants to talk to us, he
Yo.
probably would. He's capable of talking to people.
I'll hit him up over Twitter. I don't know. I'll just be
He's
like,
real. He's
Yeah, I
real.
mean,
Theoretically, at least with theory.
yeah, he'll respond. Like someone recommended my video to him, and you know, I mean, he sort of put it off, but I'm sure he wouldn't mind talking to me sometime.
I
reach
think
out
it's
to him.
really cool though that Caleb was willing to talk to the Ewoks.
Yeah, no, Hakeem was really he talked to the Ewoks.
No, Caleb Maupin was willing. Sorry,
Yeah.
Caleb Maupin was willing. I think Hakeem would. I think he'd like B-level. Like this is the thing we have to understand that whenever you're talking about black, or you're talking about third world, there are a lot of them are very offish on people that they think okay that like they're afraid of like it's like this is one of the criticisms that's been going on, and I think this is one of the things that B-level was trying to talk to about with Suck My Opinion, was he's like people don't understand that leftists of color have a hard time getting heard at all on social media in any way, shape, or form, and that's one of the reasons why everybody's turning against Vaush. Vaush has literally ousted himself because he's a fraud and he's offending everybody. But now we're going to start. It looks like we're going to start to have to deal with something that was probably in a way planned. You know, the Vaushites are now going to be the problem, not Vaush.
Yeah, no, and they'll be much easier to pwn. The issue is that if you go directly to the head vampire, you know, if you go directly to the head vampire and try to debate him, you have an entire audience that's slanted against you from the start. They just assume everything that Vaush says is right and that yours is wrong. You'll have Vaush who will Google shit, who will turn off your mic, who will talk over you and use shitty debate tactics. So unless you're really able to like beat him at his own game, then you're not really gonna like optically appear correct. Just know, like, I do want to eventually go on to debate Vaush, but like I understand even if it's perceived that I lose, it's still going to net a lot of traffic in the direction of Marxism-Leninism, and it's definitely going to create more actual Marxists in the long run, because I'd rather like...
Here's the thing. Can I point something out? Can I
go
point
ahead.
something out? Just because I do work in real life with sometimes Marxist-Leninists, but typically Maoists and anarchists and some other alternative socialist groupings. Like I actually do believe in Jahan Maria. I'll defend Jahan Maria, its theory.
Guys, my real tendency is not ML. It is Stalinism, Possadism, cockshotism with ecological characteristics.
Okay then.
Yes. It got awkwardly quiet. Audible, you still there?
Yeah, I want to know how he describes himself. I mean, I consider Autobuild basically to be a newly made ML or something, which is fine.
I got a bit of food in my mouth, so that's why I'm talking. I mean,
I definitely
hold on.
vibe to a lot of stuff Neo Jacobin is. I would love Neo Jacobin to join such a coalition. I think we need him because we need the alternatives away from communist theory that are socialist. And Neo Jacobin, I have that kinship with him. He doesn't even know it, but I do. And I think that we could all lift each other up. We could let anarchists on and to talk, but it can't be on BreadTube. You can't say BreadTube. You can't infiltrate it. It needs to go. So long live. If I had vodka, I'd give a salute to RiceTube right now.
All right. So let me before we sign off, let me explain this position. The reason why I came up with the synthesis. Stalinism, because I believe in the rapid transformation of society and the liquidation of all who oppose us. Posadism, because I believe it's going to take a massive cataclysm to radically change the world. And cockshotism, because cybernetic socialism. And the ecological characteristics is because I believe this cataclysm will not be nuclear warfare, but climate change. I believe that climate change and the sixth mass extinction are historical necessity, and that inevitably, one way or another, we are going to end up in a planned economy. The question is how much death and mayhem are going to happen in the wake of that.
I say that we reach out to the
think
poor,
about
truly poor, the proletariat and lumpen proletariat, and all the poor people and the ripped off people, and we just hang out. But like we have the first problem that gets in our way right now is COVID. So I guess that's what the plan is right now. COVID. This is the time to agitate because people are dying. The establishment can do nothing. The state is collapsing if you think about it, and it can save itself, and it might, and probably will, but it doesn't have to. We don't have to let it. The whole world could take power right now. You just have to be careful what you say. It'd probably not be as loud about it as I am right now at this time, but I guess I just don't care, and I'm kind of high. But like we could take the world. Theoretically, there's nothing that can stop us from doing it. All it takes is a civil discussion globally, and that's I think why they're trying to censor people on YouTube. They don't want the actual left to make a conversation because we could start one.
All right, guys. I'm going to go ahead and close off. So I just want everyone to know that I have more scripted content coming, but it's not easy because I did go full-time at my job recently. So no, expect another scripted video within the next few days. But with that being said, is there any last words you guys have before I turn off this stream?
I do want to give one final shout out to Neo Jacobin because I actually acknowledge that there is a difference between a social democrat and a democratic socialist. In fact, Chris Hedges counts as an actual democratic socialist, and I do know that you're a democratic socialist. I even know that you have an interest in Euro communism, which I don't, but like I actually know quite a bit. I'm an actual subscriber of yours. I actually do watch you.
I know there's a difference, but like I never really thought about it. But I mean, it's like when like I don't know, it's like Western lefties say that like they're democratic socialists. I just think they're like SOCDEMs. But I mean, I don't. Like I said, I haven't read on it.
From what I understand, Dem Socs want socialism, but they're like reformists. Well, SOCDEMs just want capitalism with a human face. That's really the difference. Like, Dem Socs believe you can genuinely transform the system from the inside, and that you can sort of have like a revolution, like a peaceful revolution.
Yeah, to an extent, that's true, and I disagree with that theory. This is the irony. Bundists and Marxist-Leninists have a terrible history with one another, but ironically, it's actually the Marxist-Leninists that we probably agree with the most on, not everything, but on like the hardcore anti-imperialist issues. And we know that revolution is violent. But ironically, what I'll say, I will say this in the defense of real democratic socialists. They are principled. I don't agree with their exact position, but they are very principled. They don't even act like Bernie Sanders. They would write Bernie Sanders off as a social democrat themselves, and they do. But they're also slightly sectarian at times when they feel they can get away with it. But they'll also stand in solidarity with you. Like a Neo-Jacobin, like you want to see really interesting development. Even I would say you should watch his show. It's actually pretty good.
I thought he was a conservative socialist.
He is. It's hard to explain what, but there's no such thing as a conservative socialist. He's socially conservative.
Yeah,
all right.
Actually not.
All right. So I hope everybody's enjoyed this stream. I will try to reach out to Hakeem and Paul Morin, and I am going to get more scripted content out before the end of October. I will say that I won't really have much time to stream in November and December, but we'll keep in touch. I will get some more videos out before the end of this year, and no, I have my one Patreon. I'm sorry I'm not reading your name off yet, but I will next stream. You have my word. I'm still getting used to Patreon. But anyways, it was fun, guys. It was fun poning the Vaushite with facts and logic.
Red salute.
Red salute, guys. See ya.